A 13-year-old girl was found murdered inside her own bedroom. The family's domestic helper had disappeared, so everyone believed he was the killer. But less than 24 hours later, his body was found on the terrace of the same house. Now there were 2 murders, no eyewitnesses, a crime scene filled with mistakes, and an investigation that would divide an entire country for years. This is the story of Aarushi Talwar's murder case, one of India's most controversial and debated criminal investigations. The family consisted of Dr. Rajesh Talwar, a 44-year-old dentist, his wife Dr. Nupur Talwar, a 43-year-old dentist, and their only daughter Aarushi Talwar. They also had a live-in domestic helper named Hemraj Bunjade, a 45-year-old man from Nepal. He had been working for the Talwar family for several years and lived in a small room inside their apartment. He helped with the daily household work and was trusted by the family. The Talwar were considered a well-educated middle-class family with a comfortable life. Nothing about them suggested that, within a few hours, they would become the center of one of India's biggest criminal investigations. Aarushi was a bright and cheerful 13-year-old who enjoyed music, reading, and spending time with her friends. She attended Delhi Public School in Noida and was known to perform well in her studies. They lived in a modest apartment on the first floor of the building. The entrance to their apartment had 3 doors. The first was an outer iron mesh gate, followed by a middle iron grill door, and then a solid wooden door that opened into the house. Aarushi had her own bedroom, while Rajesh and Nupur slept in the master bedroom nearby. Hemraj stayed in a small room inside the apartment. A staircase in the building led to the terrace above the Talwar's apartment, and the terrace door was usually kept locked. May 15, 2008. Aarushi returned home from school in the afternoon. Like most school days, she spent some time relaxing before starting her homework. She also used her computer, chatted with friends online, and spoke to a few of them over the phone. Meanwhile, Rajesh Talwar and Nupur Talwar were at their dental clinic and returned home later that evening. Hemraj was at the apartment and carried out his usual household duties. After dinner, Rajesh and Nupur surprised Aarushi with a Sony CyberShot digital camera, which they had originally bought for her upcoming birthday. Excited by the gift, Aarushi took a few photographs of herself and her parents. According to the investigation, the last photograph on the camera was taken at 10:10 p.m. that night. After that, Aarushi went to her room. She spent some more time on her computer before getting ready for bed. According to her parents, they checked on Aarushi before going to bed. They said she was in her bedroom and the door was closed. After that, they went to their bedroom. Rajesh later made 2 work-related calls at 10:54 p.m. and 11 p.m. Hemraj also finished his work and went to his room inside the apartment for the night. By midnight, the apartment was quiet. It seemed like another ordinary day had come to an end. No neighbors reported hearing screams, loud arguments, or any sounds of a struggle during the night. But sometime after everyone had gone to bed, something terrible happened inside that apartment. What exactly took place during those hours remains one of the biggest unanswered questions in this case. At around 6 in the morning, the family's maid Bharti Mundal arrived at the Talwar's apartment for work. Normally, Hemraj would let her in, but that morning, no one answered even after she rang the bell several times. A short while later, Nupur Talwar came to the inner wooden door and asked Bharti if she had seen Hemraj. When Bharti said she hadn't, Nupur threw the duplicate keys to her from the balcony. According to Bharti's testimony, when she returned upstairs, she found the outer iron mesh gate closed but not locked, the middle iron grill door latched from the outside, and the inner wooden door already open. She opened the grill door and entered the apartment to begin her usual household work. Soon after, Nupur walked towards Arushi's bedroom to wake her up for school, just as she did every morning. Normally, Arushi's bedroom door locked automatically when it was shut. It could only be opened from inside or with a key from outside. And according to the Talwars, that key was usually kept beside Nupur's bed at night. That morning, however, the bedroom door was already open. When Nupur entered the room, she froze in disbelief and screamed in shock. Rajesh rushed into the room. The horrifying sight left both parents devastated. Their 13-year-old daughter Aarushi lay motionless on the bed. Her throat had been slit and she was dead. The family immediately called relatives, neighbors, and the police. Within minutes, people from the apartment complex began gathering outside the flat. As more neighbors and family members entered the apartment, someone covered Arushi's body with a white bedsheet, so the body was not left exactly as it had been found. The police were also called and soon arrived at the scene. The crime scene was not immediately sealed, and relatives, neighbors, and even members of the media were able to move freely inside the apartment. Several people entered Arushi's bedroom before forensic experts could examine it, and important evidence that could have helped the investigation may have been disturbed or lost. However, investigators observed bloodstains on the bed, pillow, walls, floor, and the bedroom door. The officers questioned Rajesh and Nupur about the previous night, and also spoke to the maid, Bharti Mandal, and several neighbors. They examined the apartment for signs of forced entry and began collecting forensic evidence from the scene. During their search, they noticed that the family's live-in domestic helper, Hemraj Banjerde, was missing. His room was empty, his mobile phone was switched off, and no one knew where he was. With no signs of a break-in and Hemraj's sudden disappearance, investigators believed he had murdered Aarushi and fled. Without carrying out a complete search of the building, the police declared Hemraj the prime suspect. Meanwhile, Arushi's body was sent for a post-mortem examination as the police continued their efforts to locate Hemraj. The next day, visitors at the Talwar's apartment noticed bloodstains near the locked terrace door. This raised suspicion, and the police decided to open the terrace. According to the Talwar family, the key to the terrace was on Hemraj's key ring, which had gone missing after the murders. Since the key could not be found, the police broke open the lock. What they discovered inside completely changed the investigation. On the terrace, they found Hemraj Banjarde's body lying in a pool of blood. Just like Aarushi, his throat had been slit. A blood-stained pillow, an empty liquor bottle, a blood-stained whiskey bottle, and a blood-stained glass were also found nearby. Investigators also recovered a kukri sheath, but the weapon itself was never found. The delay in discovering the body meant that the crime scene had been exposed to the weather, insects, and other environmental conditions for several hours. As a result, valuable forensic evidence that could have helped investigators may have been damaged, contaminated, or permanently lost. After the initial examination, Hemraj's body was sent for a post-mortem. With 2 murder victims instead of 1, the investigation entered a completely new phase. Police re-examined the apartment, but found no signs of forced entry, theft, or a struggle. They questioned the Talwar family, neighbors, and others connected to the case, while also examining phone records, computer activity, CCTV footage from the surrounding area, and other evidence to piece together the events of that night. However, CCTV footage from the surrounding area did not identify anyone entering or leaving the apartment. But as investigators dug deeper, the case took a shocking turn.
Deal here is, where is the justice for my child?
Crime scene was badly trampled.
बाहर से किसी ने भी forcible entry नहीं की.
Everything looked fine till 10 o'clock at night, and at 1 o'clock, apparently, 2 murders had...
He was subjected to polygraph test.
1 बजे तक वो sound sleep में नहीं होंगे.
She was very excited about her birthday party. As a mother, would you cover up if you thought of
the man they had been searching for, as the killer was now a victim? And the police would soon accuse someone no one expected. In part 2, We'll uncover how the investigation spiraled into one of India's most controversial criminal cases. Part 2 will be uploaded soon. Subscribe to get notified. Thanks for watching.